Welcome to Freelance Sucks. Here we discuss the dark side of freelancing about which nobody usually talks out loud. In this show, we speak with experienced freelancers, and I'm sure listening to their stories helps you prepare for freelancers' challenges. My name is Yuri. I'm a community builder at Code Control and 9am.works, and my guest is Dan Kuida, 12 plus years experienced freelance software architect and developer, a broad fundamental technological expert who sold his first small CRM at 15 years old and knows how to recover nearly dead projects. So, welcome, Dan.
Hi, thanks for having me. How are you doing?
Oh, great. And let's start from the easiest question. What is the most challenging part of being a freelancer for you?
Taxes. Accounting and taxes. It is, there is this saying of have a good accountant, have a good lawyer, and have a good doctor, dentist or a doctor. It is so true. I learned from I did have my troubles all along the way. But accounting, especially if you move around between countries, have a good accountant. That will save you a lot of money. And but that sucks. That all the taxation and that just sucks.
Do you do it by yourself or do you have a good person?
Never by myself. But that's the other point. That's a good one, actually. Thank you for bringing it up. Doesn't not really matter if the accountant is really good. The liability is on the freelancer. It's not like giving those invoices away and that's it. It's done. It is really still one has to maintain and understand what is really happening there. Besides, it's an important financial point where an accountant is really want to make his life easier. Let's face it. Any doubtful, and in double quotes, air quotes, I'm doing here air quotes, doubtful expenses, he will not put. For example, a car, a freelancer. Does he require a car if he's working at home? Yes or no? Most accountants will tell, and I have this point with many friends in Switzerland and Germany, it's exactly the same response. Does a freelancer need a car? Now, if I would go now to any company around, Google, Amazon, where I do have proposals, they would give me a car. So why would I not have that perk as an owner of the company, my own company? And here is really the trade-off. Are you just self-employed, autonomo in Spain, or are you actually have an GmbH like in Germany, or SL in Spain, or LTD in the US? That's a consideration where, hey, what kind of entity do you create? I wish someone would explain it to me in my first days. It took me at least 8 years to understand it.
And now you know that it's better to delegate, but still control this person.
Yes, it's like in leadership. Yes, the dichotomy, you delegate, but you stay in touch with the team.
Totally. And what is the most time-consuming thing you must deal with as a freelancer?
Outside of work, I guess, your question, not the actual work.
I would say yes.
All right. That's a good question. So look, the thing with developers, they just want to code. We got this job because we want to get into the technical nitty-gritty and just to write code. But on any analysis, now as an architect, I can say that any analysis of the activities inside the company, the coding is around 20%, 25%. So what we really do the rest of the time? Drinking coffee? Convert coffee into code? Maybe. But it's the human interaction. We cannot neglect it. Now, if it is only busy meetings, that's the other. Entering a meeting without predefined goals and outcomes is a waste of time. Or having a meeting where you have too many people. So definitely understanding the client, understanding the product, understanding what we're really doing, what we call in architecture the project front end. That's time consuming, but the best outcome, because that will save a lot of time later on redoing the project, rewriting the code. That's the most expensive way to do it wrong,
Yeah.
writing the code multiple times.
And from your experience, what is the best way to, have really valuable meetings? So it's not like you have, it's, in some companies you have meetings for meetings. So how
Right.
to make sure that you have a structured and good meeting?
Well, best is very hard to define, but a good approach that my mentors definitely provided is first when you enter a meeting, you do one-on-ones with everyone. So when you enter a meeting, it's really just to put that stamp of agreement. It's not to come out with something totally new, okay? Because if coming into a meeting not prepared, so it's self-preparation as well. Picking your own brain, opening up drafts. Okay, I'm literally just showing just drafts, thoughts that I put around. Okay, what I want to achieve. If I'm not clear with myself, what I
Yeah.
want to achieve, the team will not be clear on that, or at least where we're driving. Okay, so one-on-ones definitely work. It's like you don't bring a knife to a gunfight, right? You just that's not how it works. But besides having clear goals and outcomes of that's not new, okay? Nothing that I invented here. Having clear goals of what we're really discussing and what's the outcome. Have it's time constrained always, but not being afraid. Of course, I go not being afraid to stop the meeting before. Many times people go into a meeting of 45 minutes. It's not like we have to speak 45 minutes. It's better to have half an hour of burpees outside. Okay. There is a really good tool. Do the meeting while you stand on one leg. That will shorten that. I promise you. Okay. Or do it while you doing push-ups. That will shorten it. So it's if I summarize, it is one-on-ones, aligning the goals, having time constraint and predefined goals into the meeting, and the outcomes, and definitely not too many people. You break it down. I mean, 5 people is too much probably, especially in the freelance world. If one calculates, okay, 5 people, each one gets X amount of money. It's very expensive to have that thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So I treat the client's money as my own in the sense that would I spend that money? If that would be my bank account, would I spend those 500 euros on that meeting of 1 hour? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Totally. Yeah, such a great point. Thank you very much for sharing it. And from your perspective, what is the most nerve-consuming thing you must deal with as a freelancer?
Elaborate on that. What do you mean by nerve?
That you have to, that you have to think, overthink, that you get nervous, anxious about it.
Well, getting nervous is a sign of weakness. It's better avoided in all scenarios. The moment there are feelings involved, it's really better to stop the meeting. Doesn't matter whose feelings are. And to understand what is happening there. The assumption is that everyone have good intention. There is no malicious intention. It does happen. I'm not saying it's impossible. Just recently, a friend of mine told me about that kind of event. We turned out there was someone with malicious intentions, but we assume that everyone have good intentions and everyone want the good of the project. If there is some banging happening, first check the ego. There is probably some ego problems here. Besides, okay, it's never going to be solved in front of everyone. It's better to stop the meeting, do one-on-one, figure out what happened. Probably it's either a misunderstanding or misalignment or something else. Okay, it could be something else. Or look, someone might have something at home. Okay, maybe the guy's car was scratched in the parking this morning, and now the best person in the world just all banging out. Okay, it could happen. Maybe someone who's going through divorce. You actually want to be there for him.
Yeah.
And that's more important. If he's a good team member and you want to be there for him now, that's the most important. So if there are nerves involved, now, I am a nervous person. I am. So it's, I have to check that ego with myself many times. Okay. But as long as everyone are aligned that we want the good of the project, good things will turn out.
Got it. And if your friend wanted to become a freelancer, what are top 3 things you'd advise them to consider before doing it?
Well, first, disable your social media unless you need it for work. Really, before you even step into that thing, learn to, for example, when we speak now, my phone is outside of the office. Even if the phone is physically inside the office, it's already, some of the portion of the brain is already focusing on that thing. That fear of missing out is really horrible thing. Disable notifications. My notifications are always off. Okay, nothing is going through unless it's urgent calls or something like that. So that would be the first barrier. If someone is not able to do that, don't be a freelancer, really, because you will get into a debt. Okay, you will find yourself in a very, and I'm speaking from experience. I was there. Okay, it's not like I was just no, I was there. I was checking my phone for 2 hours, scrolling and all that, until the bank account just knocks on the door and say, "Hey, I'm hungry." That's how it is. Second, learn some management techniques, meaning there are some really good books about freelancing, about how to plan your day. I do write about my ways of planning my day, where I learned from other people how to organize my thoughts, the bullet journal method, which very influenced me. So learn how to do that and just practice this for half a year before you quit your job. Try to run it in parallel. It is hard. I know it's hard. I was working my regular job. Now in software, it's never 9 to 5. It's 9 to somewhere, okay, sometime. And still I was working 3-4 hours afterwards for a couple of years. It was rough, it was tough, but that's what allowed me to actually have the courage to quit my job and work in weekends and everything. So do it for half a year at least. Check it out. See if it works for you. That interaction with clients, that chasing around clients, dancing around them. And I repeat myself here, but there is nothing soft about soft skills, okay? Yeah. Learn them. Learn how to interact with people, how to negotiate. A great book, Never Split the Difference, okay? And another one is Influence by Cardini. Those 2 great books that just read them before. And read. That's my advice.
Dan, I wish to have the sky's the limit, but time is the limit. So the final question, if you were starting freelancing today, what is one thing you would have done differently?
I would quit alcohol much earlier. I do not touch alcohol since 2018. I would do that much earlier, okay? Because it has its own effects, and definitely having a couple of beers and programming is fun. It's not as good. Okay, just clearly not good.
Got it. Dan, thank you so much for sharing your challenges and for
Thank
having
you.
such an open conversation. And thank you so much for listening. If you like the show, hit the like button, 5 stars, and share it with your friends. That's it. We're done. See you in the next episode.